Okay, awesome. Okay, let's see who's hopping on. Oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. All right, I'll just go here where I can see. Okay, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Good morning. Today we are going to be doing a trauma-sensitive yoga practice. So as I had mentioned last night, if you seen the live that I had done in the Facebook group, trauma-sensitive yoga is a little bit different. And the difference between trauma-sensitive yoga and regular yoga is trauma-sensitive yoga is good for releasing trauma in the body. It's good for releasing chronic stress. A lot of the time when we have gone through trauma, or we've gone through things and we are feeling triggered, is a lot of this is stored in our psoas. Same if we're constantly going and we're constantly under this state of stress, from working too much, or from situations occurring that are very, very stressful, right? So a lot of our stress, we do store it in our body, but the one area that we store it in is our psoas. So what trauma-sensitive yoga does is it helps work the psoas, and then it also helps to release the psoas. So I want you to think of, for instance, like a perfume bottle. And say that perfume bottle became empty, right? The perfume bottle would still smell of that perfume that was in it. So essentially what we're doing here, and that's kind of similar to when we've gone through trauma and we haven't exactly been able to process that, whether it was trauma as a child, trauma, as an adult, or trauma as we were growing up. That trauma, if it goes unprocessed, we tend to wear it in our body. We may feel triggered when certain situations come up, or we may feel sensitive when certain situations come up. So what the trauma sensitive yoga does is it helps release the psoas, but it also helps empower you to be able to release that trauma, and with the somatic cueing that we do, it can actually help you release the tension, not only in the body, but also in the mind and your mental and emotional aspects of yourself as well. So we're going to do a practice today, and anyone can do it. So you can join us live right now, or even if you're catching the replay, let us know. You can drop down in the comments. You can say hi. Let us know if you're catching it live or you're watching the replay. And we're going to go through some movements. These are level 1 and 2 movements, so anyone can do it. I'm going to be showing lots of modifications too. So go ahead and grab your mat, and when you're ready, we'll come onto our mats and we'll start. So, grab some water too. So this will be no equipment, so I'm not going to do any straps or blocks, even though this practice can be used with a block. We can always do that another one, but for today we'll just use our mats, use our body, and make sure you have water on hand as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, and so we're going to start by lying down on our mats. Okay, and as we're lying down, we'll have our low back touching the mat, and then we're going to slide our feet down a little bit further until we start to feel relaxation or a stretch in basically our psoas. This is our natural psoas release position. So you should feel like your lower back be flat on the mat, and you should feel a little bit of a stretch here in the front. And if you don't, that's okay too. We'll focus on our breathing for now. This is our natural psoas release position. So we'll take a nice deep breath into our bellies. And then we're going to exhale out. And as we continue to breathe, you might feel your hips begin to relax. So we're breathing deeply into our bellies, filling our bellies up with air. And then we're exhaling, letting all that air go. Continuing to fill our bellies up with air. We'll notice how we're feeling. On the exhale, we're going to do a longer exhale. So as you're inhaling, you can count to 4 on the inhale. And then on the exhale, you can count to 6. Long, slow exhale. Continuing to breathe into our belly, filling our bellies with air, then our rib cage, then our chest. And then on the exhale, letting all that air go out of our chest, our belly, our rib cage, our belly. Continuing to breathe in. And then we're going to exhale out. Nice and slow. Inhaling. And then on the exhale, as we're exhaling, we're noticing that we're feeling more relaxed. Our body's getting heavier. And we're sinking more into our mat. Continuing to breathe in again. And then once again, slowly exhaling out through our nose. Inhaling, feeling our bellies rise on the inhale. And then on the exhale, once again, long exhalation through our nose, feeling a wave of relaxation come over us. Breathing in, noticing our bellies rise, then our rib cage, then our chest. And then on the exhale, breathing out slowly, feeling heavier in our body as we sink into our mat. Continuing to inhale. As we're breathing, we're going to start to scan our body for any areas of tension. We'll start at the top of our head. So we'll scan the area of our head, our forehead, starting with our forehead, and moving down to our jaw, seeing if there's any tension in our jaw. If there is any tension on the exhale, we're going to allow our forehead, our jaw to relax. Continuing to breathe in. And then exhaling, letting our jaw relax. Noticing how our neck's feeling, our shoulders, our chest. If we're feeling any tension in our neck or shoulders or our chest, we're going to exhale and start to relax these areas. Breathing in again, noticing how our chest is feeling. If we feel any tension here, we're going to exhale, relax any tension we may feel here. Moving to our arms, noticing how our arms are feeling, our hands, our fingers. If we're experiencing any tension in these areas, we'll take a moment. On the exhale, we'll allow these areas to relax, our arms, our fingers. Let them sink into the mat a little bit more. And this next inhale, we'll move down to our belly, our hips. And notice how our belly's feeling. If it's feeling tense, on the exhale, we'll relax it. We'll relax it with our breath. Inhaling next, let's move to our hips, our pelvic bones. And then on the exhale, we'll release any tension we may be feeling in our hips or our pelvic bone. Next, moving down to our thighs, our knees. Noticing how they're feeling. If there's any tension here, again, on the exhale, we're going to let that tension go. Breathing again. We're noticing we're moving down to our shins, the top of our feet or ankles. Taking note if we're feeling any tension here. And then on the exhale, relaxing these areas. Moving now to the bottoms of the feet and the calves, noticing how they're feeling. Breathing in. And then exhaling, relaxing the bottoms of our feet, relaxing the back of our calves. You might feel a little tingle sensation. Inhaling, noticing what we're feeling in the back of our thighs, our glutes, even our low back. Inhaling and then exhaling, notice letting go of any tension we may feel here. Continuing to inhale, we're moving up our spine, so noticing how our low back, our mid back, and our upper back are feeling. And then once again, slow exhale, relaxing any tension here, allowing ourselves to sink further into our mats and melt into our mats. And then inhaling again, noticing how the back of our shoulders, back of our neck and head are feeling. And then on an exhale, relaxing, letting our head and neck and shoulders melt into the mat again. And then from here, we're going to start to come into our movement. Let's take our feet out wide onto our mat. And then we're just going to switch our legs side to side and get into the QL a little bit here. These are our windshield wipers. We'll just go a few times each way, and then when we're ready, we'll start to bring our feet back onto the mat. And then from here, let's start to lift our right leg about 2 inches. So we won't go too high because we don't want to engage the quads. We just want to bring it up about 1 to 3 inches. And as we're bringing it up, you might feel a sensation and almost feels like the inner but top part of the thigh, or at least where the top part and the inner thigh kind of meet. You may feel a little bit of a sensation here. So we'll do this a few times. Good. Excellent. And then when we're ready, we'll bring that right foot down. Let's bring that left foot up. Good. And then bring it back down. So we can almost imagine like there's ankle weights on our foot, and our foot feels very heavy. And there's another practice too that we'll do at the end where we'll use this ankle weight feeling again. Imagine there's an ankle weight
Lifting your foot up and your foot feels very heavy. Okay, continue lifting. What we're doing here is we're activating our psoas muscle. So if you're feeling that sensation in your leg, that's the psoas muscle getting activated. Good. And then 2 more times. Last time. Good. And bring it back down. Okay, from here, let's take both our knees into our chest. And we're gonna rock side to side. We're gonna feel a nice massage on our back. This is also very rejuvenating for the kidneys. So if you've been feeling stressed and it's been feeling exhausted, we're tired, knees to chest pose, which is just our knees in, but you can rejuvenate your kidneys when you move side to side or just rest in knees to chest pose. Good. And then when we're ready, we're going to come back to the middle. We'll give our legs a nice hug. Place your hands on your knees or underneath your knees if you're taking care of a knee today. Good. And then from here, let's place our feet down for our bridge pose. So we're not coming to that natural psoas release like we did before. We're going to have our knees, our feet a little bit closer to our glutes here. And then on the count of 3, we're going to start to lift our hips up. So breathing in, hips up to the sky. And then exhaling, bring your hips down slowly. Good. Breathing in again. We're pressing our feet down into the mat, lifting our hips up into the sky. And then we're lowering down again. So what we want to do with this is we want to make sure our knees are in alignment with our hips too. So let's keep our knees in alignment with our hips. Let's press the big toe of our foot down into the mat. And on the inhale, let's lift up. You're going to feel your inner thighs engage a little bit here, along with the glutes and the hamstring. And then exhaling, we're going to lower down. Good. On this next one, we're going to come up for a count of 4, and then we're going to come down for a count of 4. Okay, so on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, lifting up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. And then coming back down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then lifting up. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then coming back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. We'll do a few more of these. So breathing in and then in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhaling, lowering down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. On this next one, we're going to lift up for 8. Ready? Lifting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lowering down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. We'll do one more of these. Lifting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. And then lowering down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, excellent job. When you're ready, bring those knees into our chest. Good. Excellent. And we'll give ourselves a nice hug. And we can even rock side to side if it feels good to do so. Good. And then from here, let's take our feet back down. Actually, not back down. Let's just stack our knees over our hips. So let's take our arms out to the side. And normally we'd have a block in between our legs. It's okay if you don't. We'll just bring the knees together. And then from here, breathing in, we're going to exhale. We'll come down to the side. So this is our belly twisting pose. And then we're going to lift up, breathing in and then exhaling, coming down to the other side. Good. And then we'll just continue to go through each side just like that. Yeah. So exhaling, we're coming down to the right side. And when we're coming down to the opposite side, so when we're coming down to that left side, we're trying to glue that right shoulder down. And breathing in and then exhaling, coming to the right side, we're trying to glue that left shoulder down. So if the left shoulder wants to come up, just go to your range of motion. So if going down all the way causes the shoulder to come up, just go to what your range of motion is. Good. Breathing out, coming to the right, and then exhaling. Good. We'll do one more time on each side. This is a nice stretch for the sides of the hips. It's also good workout for the lower tummy. Okay, when we're ready, we'll bring our feet back down. Just go into a wide, we'll take our feet out wide again, and we'll just kind of go through our windshield wipers here, getting into that QL a little bit. Good. And then one more time. Good. We'll bring feet back onto the mat, and then when we're ready, we're going to roll over onto our favorite side, and let's meet in all fours position. So we're going to press our hands back into the mat, and we'll have our knees about hip width apart. We'll have our hands about shoulder width apart, and we'll spread our fingers nice like starfish, slight bend in the elbows. So try not to lock the elbow joints, slight bend in the elbows. And then from here, we're going to breathe out, and let's start to round our spine. Good. And then on the inhale, we're going to breathe in. We'll start to point our tailbone to the sky. Exhaling, rounding our spine again. Feeling that nice stretch in our rhomboids. And then inhaling, pointing our tailbone to the sky. Good. Continuing to move with our breath on the exhale. We're pushing that mat a little bit further away, really getting into those rhomboids. And then on the inhale, pointing the tailbone to the sky as we gently squeeze our shoulder blades together. Continuing to exhale. And then breathing in. Good. As we're breathing in, gentle squeeze of our shoulder blades. Exhaling, pushing that mat away again one more time. And then inhaling. Arching our back, we're contracting our spine here. And then returning to our neutral spine for a moment. So we'll do a little bit of a stretch for our neck here. So breathing in, we're going to start to look over that left shoulder. We're going to feel a little bit of a stretch on the right side of our body. And then when we're ready, we'll breathe in again as we come through the middle, and then we're going to look over that right shoulder. Breathing in. And then exhaling, looking over that left shoulder, feeling that nice stretch on the other side. Inhaling, and then breathing, looking over that right shoulder. And we'll do one more time each side. Breathing in and then exhaling, looking over that left shoulder again. Breathing in again, one more time, and then exhaling. Okay, so this next movement is for your spine. So it's kind of like you're doing a circle with your spine. So basically what you're going to do is you'll start to kind of move your spine in circular motion. Okay, you can do that a few times. Kind of loosen up the spine here. So we're going in a circular motion with our spine. Going one way, whichever way feels comfortable for you first. It's a new movement. The whole idea is just to help loosen up the spine. Okay, Once you've done that, we're going to go the other way. So sometimes it's a little awkward at first, but try going the other way. And sometimes you got to work with your body. So if it doesn't go, it's okay. Remember, it's your first time. Okay. From here, let's come back to our neutral position. We're going to crawl our left hand up. Let's bring it up and we'll bring the left hand down. Other hand. Right hand up, breathing in, and then exhaling, sweeping it through for thread the needle. You got it. Good. Breathing in again. We'll bring the arm up, this time bending the arm, and then we're going to exhale, sweep it through. Yes. It's going to feel like a nice stretch here. Good. Breathing in again. And then exhaling, sweeping it through. Good. You got this. And we'll do one more. Breathing in. And then exhaling, sweeping it through. Good. When we're ready, we'll come back up. This time we're going to crawl our right hand up to the top of the mat. Left hand, let's take it up. And then exhaling, we're going to sweep it through. Once again, we're sewing the needle to the other side or threading the needle. Good. When we're ready, coming up, bending the arm, and then sweeping it through. Once again, breathing in, and then exhaling. And we'll do one more. Good. And then from here, let's start to go into our child's pose. So we're going to fold into our child's pose. And let's stay here for a moment. We'll take a nice deep breath in. This is also our rest position. So anytime we need to go into a rest position, we can go into our child's pose. Child's pose is really good for our nervous system, as it can relax our nervous system. And it can also help with the parasympathetic, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. We'll take a nice deep breath in again. And then we're going to exhale out. Good. Continuing to inhale. And then exhaling. Nice long exhale. And of course, if we're taking care of a shoulder and we can't do extended child's pose, we can also take our hands underneath our forehead, or we can take our arms down by our sides. So your choice. And then from here, my braid's in the way. From here, we're going to roll our forehead side to side. So what this does is this activates our third eye. And you can roll your head side to side. I was just moving my arms so that you can kind of see what I was doing from a side angle. We're just rolling your head side to side. And we're activating our third eye. Our third eye is in between our brow, just above our brow, but in between. And when we follow our intuition, it can help us in times of uncertainty. So while we're here, let's say an affirmation. I love and trust my intuition. I love and trust my intuition. You can repeat that out loud, or you can repeat it to yourself in your head. That's okay too. One more time. I love and trust my intuition. From here, let's start to
come up and let's start to move into our plank. So we're going to shift forward into our plank here. Good. And then exhaling, we're going to start to come back. So we'll start to shift back into our child's pose. Inhaling, we'll shift forward again. Good. And we'll do this a few times. On this next one, let's start to kind of just move our hips to the left, yes, left side of us. Good, and just start to feel a little bit of that stretch there. And then we can come back to our child's pose. Good, we'll do that again. Once again, this time shifting to the right, getting a little bit of a stretch in our IT band here on that right side, and then we can come back. Good. Inhaling. And then once again, shifting, we're going to drop our hips a little bit to that left side, just leaning a little bit, noticing how we're feeling there, and then shifting back. Good. And then shifting forward. Once again, we're going to shift our hips to that right side, noticing how we're feeling here, and then we'll shift back. Okay, on this next one, we're going to shift forward into our plank, and we're going to do it for a count of 4. So ready? Breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming back. Do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhaling back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Our next count will go to 8. So what this does is it helps us slow down. Oftentimes in life, we get very busy and we need to slow down sometimes. So we're going to do this count for a count of 8. So coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then shifting back, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back. Good. Doing that again. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then shifting back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. One more time. So shifting forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to go into our chaturanga. So we're going to lower down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And let's completely lower down to the ground. Excellent. So we're going to come up for our cobra. So we'll just do our regular cobra first. There we go. So we're going to breathe in. We'll roll our shoulders down and back as we lift up for cobra. And then we'll come back down again. Breathing in. Sorry, I'll move my head. Breathing in. We're going to roll our shoulders down and back as we're lifting up for cobra. Good. And then from here, we're going to go into some figure 8s. So basically, we're going to move our shoulders in a figure 8. So do your best. Okay. And what you're going to do is we'll come to one side. Yeah, there you go. You got it. Excellent. Yeah. So it may feel a little awkward at first. It's a new type of movement, but it will help loosen up your shoulders. Oftentimes when we get stressed or we go through something emotional or even something traumatic, we can wear it in our body. And one of those areas is our shoulders. So it's good to release some of the tension that may be here. And doing figure 8s. 8 is the infinity symbol.
Okay, when we're ready, we're going to come back down and let's take our hands and we'll bring them out in front of us. So what we're going to do is go into space. So we'll connect our elbow directly underneath our shoulder, and same with the other elbow. We're going to just kind of fan out our hands a little bit wider than our shoulders. So just a little bit, maybe by like a couple centimeters. Excellent. And then from here, we'll let our belly be flat on the mat. And then from here, we're just going to lift up just a little bit. And as we lift up, we're kind of pushing the chest forward here. And then as we do that, we're gently squeezing the shoulder blades. Now, I would say go to your 60%. This shouldn't feel painful. You should just feel like a mild discomfort. And you may feel, if you are starting to feel in the back, you can come down lower. You don't have to come up as high. Okay, and then from our Sphinx pose, we're going to do a wooden snake movement here. So it's going to be, you know, those wooden snakes that you kind of move, they kind of go side to side. That's kind of what we're going to do with our back here. So basically, we're going to just kind of move side to side, like one of those little wooden snake toys. Yeah, there you go. You got it. Excellent. Yeah. And just notice what you're feeling, breathing in and then exhaling. You can kind of breathe at your own pace here. And you might find as it goes to the lower spine that there's a little less movement. That's okay. More of your side movement will be done in like the upper spine, the mid spine. Okay, and then when we're ready, we're going to come back down and bring our hands down by our sides. And we can just take a moment here. Actually, let's take our hands out in front of us for alligator pose. So we'll place our head on top of our hands, and then we'll spread our feet out wide. And we're going to notice how we're feeling here. And then when we're ready, let's take one foot back onto our mat and then the other. And we're going to push back into our child's pose first. Give our back a nice stretch after that. Taking a nice deep breath in, and then we're going to exhale, letting out any kind of tension we may feel go. When we're ready, we're going to spread our fingers like starfish. We'll curl our toes, and then we'll start to come onto our knees. So we'll have our knees about 2 inches off the ground. We're going to extend into our downward dog. Excellent. And if your legs aren't completely straight, that's okay. We're going to do a little bit of pedaling here, noticing how our calves are feeling. And this is walking your dogs, pedaling. Good. And then from here, we're going to take that, let's take our right leg up. And then we're actually going to just sweep it through, bring it towards our hands here, and we're going to come into our lunge. Now we'll take that right foot back, because as we go into our lunge, we're not going to go into a super deep lunge like how we normally do for most of our yoga practices. Instead, what we want is this back leg directly underneath our hips. So we want our left leg, our back leg directly underneath our hip. And we're going to notice how our hips are before we go into this lunge practice. So we'll have our hand on top of the knee for a lunge practice. Before we do that though, I want you to just place your hands on top of your hip bones. And notice if they're even or one hip sits higher than the other. If it does, let's just take a moment now to kind of readjust it. And we can kind of do almost like these hip circles or pelvic circles to kind of readjust our hips. And what we want is that left leg directly underneath our hip here. We want our hips to be somewhat even. We're going to squeeze that left glute. And I'm already feeling this on that side. So once you get into position, you'll start to feel your hip flexor, but you'll start to feel more of that psoas. So when you're ready, hands on top of the knee, and then we're going to start to just shift forward. And you don't need to shift too much, because what we're going for here is still working that psoas and still releasing it a little bit. So you should feel almost that same muscle that we kind of activated. You might feel your hip flexor a little bit on this too, depending on how tight they are. Okay, good. Coming forward. And once again, you just want to go to your 60% max. Okay, last one. All right, let's take that left hand up and we'll come back around. Take that left hand up again. Exhaling, good. And then last time, good. And then we're gonna just tilt to the side. Good, really open up that hip there. Good, and then when we're ready, let's come back down. We'll bring that right leg down. And then when we're ready, let's bring that left leg up. Of course, if you need a drink, go ahead and grab it. And once again, we're going to make sure that right leg is directly underneath our hip and that our spine is neutral here. Once again, hands on top of the hips. Let's notice if one hip is higher than the other. If it is, we're going to readjust. It might be a little bit harder to do the pelvic circle on the other side, but the idea is just to do it enough to help you readjust your hip. Okay, and then once you've readjusted your hip, squeeze the glutes, hand on top of the knee, and then let's move forward. Good. And notice what you're feeling. Once again, you just have to go to your 60% max sensation feeling. So if it's too much, you can always back off, right? Okay, a few more times. And then last time. Good, breathing in, we'll take the arm up. And then, ooh, something just cracked. Breathing in again, and then exhaling, good. And then we'll take the arm up above the head and just lean to the side. Good, and then when we're ready, let's come back down. Okay. Coming back down, we're going to go back into our downward dog again. We'll just stay here for a moment. We'll bring our heels up. We'll see if our heels can come back down a little bit lower. Remember, in yoga, we want to let go of expectations, competition, judgment of where we think we should be in a practice. From here, let's take that left leg up. Good. And we'll sweep it through. We're going to come up for our warrior one here. So left leg is forward, back leg, foot connects with our mat. And then let's set up for our warrior one. So warrior one, hips are squared to the wall in front of us. And then from here, let's take our hands up to the sky. We'll say some affirmations here. I'm a warrior. I am resilient. I'm strong. I am powerful. And this is stuff you can say to yourself when you're in your warrior poses. And then when you're ready, we're going to take our hands, let's bring them in behind our back.
We'll interlace our hands. If you can't reach your hands, you can also cross over your arms, breathing in. And then exhaling, coming forward. And if you want, you can bend a little bit deeper. You bring your hands up higher if you're not taking care of the shoulder. If not, then let your hands go. We'll bring our hands back down to the ground. And let's shift back. We'll bring that right foot up. And then we'll come into our warrior one on this right side. So right leg is forward. Once again, we're going to shift our hips, making sure that our hips are squared to the wall in front of us. Hands to heart center, breathing in. Woo. Let's take our hands apart. Once again, we can say our affirmations. So I'm strong. I am powerful. I'm a warrior. I am resilient. Good. And then from here, let's take hands in behind our back. We're going to breathe in. And then exhaling, shifting forward. Good. And bringing our hand up. And then on the exhale, let's let our hands go. Reaching for the ground again. Let's shift back. We'll come back into our downward dog. And then from here, let's take that right foot forward again. We'll come back up, but this time we're just going to switch our feet. So we're going to have our feet on 45-degree angles here. Good. And we'll come into a little bit of a fly squat. So we want to make sure our knees aren't going too much in. We kind of want to keep them in alignment with our ankles and our feet if we can. From here, let's take a nice deep breath in. And then on the exhale, let's take our hands down. We're going to breathe in, reaching up, and then exhaling, we'll squat down, and then reach up again. Good. So this will help get us into the upper psoas. Good. Excellent job. Good. And we'll do a few more of these. Okay, and last ones. Good. All right, from here, let's take our hands to heart center. Let's point our feet back to the middle, and we'll take a nice deep breath in. We'll bend forward, and then from here, let our hands come down to the ground. Let's crawl one hand underneath us. Let's crawl both our hands. We can do fist for wrist, or we can do a flat palm, whichever you prefer. From here, breathing in, we can take that right arm up as we come into our twisting straddle. And then exhaling, bringing that right hand down. Inhaling, taking that left arm up. And then exhaling back down. Okay, from here, let's start to come down onto our knees. We'll go into a little bit of camel pose before we start to come back onto our back and go into our psoas shake. Okay, so we'll make two small little fists, breathing in, belly button tucked in, and then squeeze the glutes, lifting up from the chest, inhaling. And then on the exhale, we're coming back down. Good. From here, let's take our feet from out underneath us, and we'll start to go into our staff pose here. So as we're in our staff pose, we're going to make sure sits bones are in alignment with our ribs, and we can take our hands down by our sides. Yes. Breathing in. We're going to relax our shoulders down and back. Good. And we'll have our toes pointed towards the wall. Or not the wall, sorry, the ceiling. Okay, from here, taking a nice deep breath in. And then once again, exhaling and relaxing. And then from here, we're going to start to slide back down. And before we go completely down, let's take our feet, place the soles of our feet together, and we'll start to go into our butterfly pose. So if you find that you're still sitting back a little bit, you can also roll up your mat to give you a little bit of leverage. So I'll just kind of roll up my mat to give my butt a little cushioning here. And then from here, taking a nice deep breath in, tucking belly up and in, and then exhaling, coming forward. And then we'll just breathe here. Continuing to breathe in. And then exhale. If we can go a little bit further, we can. If not, we can stay where we are. Breathing in again and then exhaling. Good. When we're ready, we can start to come back up again. And I'm going to unroll in a minute. And then from here, we're going to start to come down onto our back again. So coming onto our back. Once again, we're in that natural psoas release position. So we're kind of sliding our feet a little bit further down until we feel the sacrum become a little bit flatter. From here, we'll leave the right leg like this. We're going to take that left leg, let's lengthen it, and then we'll lengthen our arm as well. And this is a subtle release. Sometimes we can stick a block underneath our sacrum, and it'll help release the psoas a little bit better. This can also help release it too. It's a little bit subtle. Good. And then we'll bring it back. We're going to switch sides again. And then just breathe. Okay, so we have one more psoas work sequence that we're going to do together. So we're going to, once we come out of our psoas release position, we're going to come back to our bent leg position. Let's start by bringing both knees in. We're going to gently hug ourselves. Rock side to side. Good. And then we're going to keep holding this right leg. Let's let our left leg go really long. And you remember those ankle weights we put on in the beginning? We're going to put those on again. So once again, we're going to point the toe towards the ceiling. This time, ankle weights are on your ankle, or we're going to visualize or pretend there's ankle weights there, and that your leg is feeling very heavy. You're lifting 1 to 3 inches off of the ground. So it's going to feel, you may start to feel that psoas muscle getting worked a little bit more. I know my leg's kind of shaking actually. So you may even have experienced shaking. So we'll do this a few times. Good. And then 2 more times. Good. All right, next we're pointing the toes outwards and then bringing the foot out, just out by about 1 to 2 inches. So not too much, not like we're doing our outer thigh lift or anything. We're just kind of pointing the toes outwards and then moving the foot side to side about 2 to 3 inches. And already I can definitely feel my psoas getting worked. If you're feeling that sensation, that is your psoas getting worked. We want to work the psoas so that we can release it, especially when we go to do our psoas shake. Keep breathing out. Good. 2 more times. Last one. And then when we're ready, we're going to start to drag our foot back in.
Okay, and we'll do that 4 times. Dragging the heel slowly, and then oops, 3, and then last time. Okay, good. All right, bring that left leg in, right by your right leg. I want you to notice the difference. Apparently my left leg's already shaking. And when we're ready, let's take that right leg out. We're gonna hold that left leg in. So once again, pointing the toe up and then just 1 to 2 inches. Good. Right, and not too high. We don't want to engage the hip flexors or the quads, just that psoas. Once again, heavy. Our legs are feeling heavy, like there's ankle weights on them. So heavy. Feeling that heaviness. Feeling like our legs are so heavy. Our ankle is so heavy because we've got the ankle weight. Good. And then when we're ready, one more, and then let's go into our pointing the toes out and then just moving 1 to 2 inches. Pointing the toes out, moving 1 to 2 inches. Okay, 2 more times, last side. And then when we're ready, let's start to drag that foot in. Yes, just like that. Continue to drag that foot in. Excellent. And last time. Okay, good. We'll bring that both knees in. And when we're ready, let's take our feet down, almost kind of like we're going to go into our bridge pose, but we're not. We're going to bring the feet together because we're going to go into a psoas release. So if you want, you can, if you don't want to do the psoas release, you can stop it here. I would suggest going for a walk though after this, just kind of release. If you want to join us for the psoas release, the psoas shake part, basically what we're going to do, I'll explain how it's going to go. We'll come into a reclined butterfly. We're going to hold this position for about 2 minutes. Then we'll go up a level, we'll hold it for 2 minutes. We'll go up the next level, we'll hold for 2 minutes, and then we'll come up 1 more level, hold it for 2 minutes. And then at the very end, we'll come back to our reclined butterfly. Okay, so when we're ready, let's get into position. So feet together, and then let's bring it to the first, we'll bring the soles of our feet together for a reclined butterfly. And even though I have my hands here, it's not actually holding them up, my legs are holding them up. So we're gonna hold for 2 minutes, okay? So from here, you may start to feel a shake in your psoas. I am shaking actually, but I don't know if you guys can see that. No, you can see. Okay, awesome. So just let your low back get flat against the mat, and this will help you shake a little bit more too. And the shaking's good. This is what helps release the trauma, helps release chronic stress. So it's okay to shake. And while we're shaking, we can say some affirmations to ourselves. I'm loved. I'm grounded. I'm secure. I'm calm. I am peace. Peace begins with me. I am love. I'm able to give love and to receive love. I am grounded. I am resilient. I am empowered.
I am strong. I am resilient. I am worthy. Keep breathing. I'm strong. I am secure. I am grounded. I am rooted to Mother Earth. Okay, when you're ready, we'll move up to the second tier. So you might feel the shape a little bit more. I'm resilient. I'm strong. I am loved. I am cared for. I am powerful. I am empowered. I am resilient. I am worthy. I am capable. I am ambitious. I am powerful. I am resilient. I am grounded. I am calm. I am calm. I am healing. I am growing. I am empowered. I can handle anything. I am ambitious. I am loved. I am strong. I am grounded. I am calm. I am secure in my body and my mind. I am adaptable. I am creative. Okay, let's move up to the third tier. So we're about 6 to 8 inches away from the knees almost touching. I'm grounded. I am calm. I am loved. I am loved. I am cared for. I'm able to give love and to receive love. I am authentically creating a life free of stress and full of bliss. I am bliss. I am empowered. I am nurtured. I am nurturing. I am calm. I am empowered. I am peaceful. I am peace. I am healed. I am well. I am growing. I am resilient. I am happy. I am healthy. I am resilient. I am grounded. I am calm. Okay, when we're ready, last one. This is, you might feel this one come up a little bit more in your body. I'm grounded. I am calm. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am calm. I'm grounded. I'm resilient. I'm calm. I'm grounded. I'm adaptable. I'm healed. I'm growing. I'm loved. We're almost there. Last one. I'm grounded. I'm rooted. I'm resilient. I am calm. Okay, when we're ready, we're going to come back to that reclined butterfly here. And you can just stay here for a moment. Notice how you're breathing. Notice how you're feeling. Nice long exhalations. Allowing ourselves to let go. And then when you're ready, you can lengthen your legs out if it feels good to do so. Stretch your arms if you like to. Move them down right sides too. Taking a few moments just to settle yourself. And then when you're ready, you can slowly make it on your way to your favorite side for sleepy baby pose. And then when you're ready, you can slowly start to come up to a seated position. And we'll take a nice deep breath in. And then we're going to exhale and let out a sigh. Namaste. The light in me honors and bows to the light in you and each of you. Thank you. Thank you for joining for this practice. This is my gift to you. Is this trauma sensitive yoga. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions for me, you can go ahead and leave a comment below, or you can feel free to message me. If you liked this practice and this is something that you're interested in, you can go ahead and you can feel free to message me, as this is something that I do one-on-one with people. So if this is something that's interests you, you felt something from it, you felt release, and this is something that you'd like to know more about or would love to get into, feel free to message me, and we can definitely talk a little bit more about it. And if this is something that you want to continue to do, we can definitely talk more about that as well. All right, so I hope you're having a great day. I hope that you enjoyed this practice. And I will say this, you may notice that you feel hungry afterwards, because what this does is it works directly on our parasympathetic nervous system. And when we are in a rested state, we can feel, where we normally would feel hungry, we can feel hungry. And especially after doing a yoga practice like this, we should be feeling hungry. So if you are feeling hungry, go have something to eat. That's also a sign that you release something too. And yeah, if you're feeling looser, I'd love to know how this workout went for you. I'd love to know how this went for you. You can, of course, leave a comment down below under this video. And yes, I'd love to hear how this went for you. Anyways, I hope you're having an amazing day. And I hope you enjoyed this practice. Okay, take care for now. Bye. Okay, let me shut that on.